All right, thank you everybody for coming out today. I am Matthew Cox. I'm the Chief Strategist for ARK.io, and I'll be joined today by our Senior Brand Manager, Justin Rankin. And we're going to talk to you about ARK.io and the ARK blockchain platform and kind of what we've been building. I want to start by saying thank you to Masari and CoinDesk for the opportunity to come here today. We really appreciate being included in this event. It's truly an honor to be included with some of the teams that were up here on this stage, so thank you very much for that. For today's presentation, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the business history of ARK and sort of what we've been doing on the business side for the last 12 months. And then I'm going to turn it over to Justin, who's going to talk about kind of the technology side and what we've been building. We really liked the idea of this presentation and coming up here as a project that's been building for quite a while and being able to share that there are teams out there building real projects, making real strides, not just scams and money grabs. So this is a look at our financial history over the last 12 months or so, but also back through to when we first raised money. ARK in the end of 2016 came together and we did our TEC, our token exchange campaign, at the beginning of 2017. We actually failed. It's a funny story. We were trying to raise 1.4 million roughly, and we came out at about 800,000. And so we actually came out a little more than that, but we offered a refund, and some people said, you know what, we really like the idea of what you're building, and we'd like you to try to do an MVP and really come to market. And so a lot of people chose not to refund, and we decided to push forward. 2017 in the beginning was the beginning of the bull market, and we got super lucky. And through good management and through the process of having the right people on our team, we turned that into 3,500 BTC today. We also hold 26 million ARK, which are sort of a reserve fund. That's partially due to the refund. We didn't originally plan on having that much, but when we offered the refund, we ended up with more. And so we use that for things like complementing salaries of our employees to keep them more invested in the company, and also to do things like bounties for the public. So we have a lot of community developers, and we reward a lot of that in ARK. You can see our burn rate for the last 12 months. Right now, it was 3.8 million. That included a lot of individual expenses that were like a one-time, one-off thing that probably won't exist moving forward. However, we'll see what happens this year. I think it'll be quite a bit lower than that. 43% of our spending is salaries, which I think is a pretty good number, but I think it'll be even better than that this next year. We make a big focus on making sure that our team is the priority for us, and so I think that's a good number. 31% of that is paid in ARK. So that's a really huge benefit for us in that we hold a lot of ARK, and if our employees or our bounty contributors want to be paid in ARK, that's really great for us. It gets them bigger into the community, it gets them more involved, and it helps us. Last year, we paid $320,000 in bounties. That was mostly in ARK. This year, it's going to be even more. We have a new website coming out in the next couple months, and it's going to have what we call our Tier 0 management system. And in that, we're going to allow community developers to apply to do Tier 0 projects, which will be higher paying gigs. So right now, a lot of our bounties are smaller, anywhere from $100 to $3,000. When we do this Tier 0 program, we're going to be posting jobs anywhere from $60,000 to $100,000 for bigger components of our ecosystem. So we think that this next year will be really great on the bounty front. Over the last 12 months, we also put a lot into hiring and expanding our team. Yes, it was a bear market, but we needed to build, and so we did some key moves. We expanded our development team. We added 2 new core developers that do our cryptography and some of our really important pieces of our consensus mechanism. And then Michelle is a front-end developer who's working on our new website and our Explorer. And then we added Erwan, who is working on he's a QA test engineer and works on a lot of our test platform. In the last month, we added our first piece of our marketing team. We kind of slow-rolled the marketing piece because we didn't feel like our platform was ready to really hit the market. And so we didn't focus too much on marketing over the last 12 months. The 12 months moving forward, it is a key priority for us. And adding Kai and Katie, who are right here in front of us, is a big piece of our effort moving forward. They have a ton of experience in B2B and B2G, and we're really going to hit those fronts moving forward. Towards the end of last year, we added our communications team. And as we moved forward and it became more evident that the founders were going to be spending a lot more time making partnerships, building the core platforms, we realized that we needed to continue the momentum we had built with our community. So we hired some specific employees that could help us kind of bridge that gap between us and the community. So we added Justin, who's over here, who started as kind of a communications guy for us, but is now our senior brand manager. And you'll talk to him in a little bit. We added Carly, who's a support specialist who does emails and those kinds of things. We added Sam, who helps with our partnerships. And we added someone named Loic, who is actually a big part of our French operation. And he is what we call our institutional relations manager. And what he does is we have a big piece to play in the regulations that are happening in France, and we have some ties to the government, and he helps us set up those and kind of be involved in what they're doing over there for the industry. I don't know if you guys all know this, but France is actually one of the most progressive countries when it comes to blockchain regulation. And they're very positive on the industry. They're moving forward in really great strides, and we're really happy to be a part of that, and Loic plays a big piece of that for us. Partnerships. Over the last 12 months, we've made some pretty cool new partners. So Wolfram, we're partnering with them on some engineering items that we'll hopefully announce more about over the next 6 months or so. We also have some industry partners that we really like to work with, like Changelog is integrated into our wallet. We have ledger support, hardware wallet support for our wallet. And recently, we've partnered with Spend to issue cards that can use ARK, so it's kind of like BitPay. You use your tokens, you load a card, and then you can buy anywhere that they take Visa. So we're really excited about some of these partnerships. One of the other ones is MLH, which is Major League Hacking, and we've partnered with them to do a workshop about blockchain, the industry as a whole, which they'll be rolling out pretty soon. And all over the world at their MLH events, they will offer this blockchain workshop to anybody who's interested. One last quick slide from me. We talked about some of the business stuff, but I just want to highlight here kind of some of what we've done on the development side before I give it to Justin. I'm really proud of these numbers and what we've done, and the expansion of our team is evident in these numbers. We had 1,100 issues closed, 3,400 pull requests merged. Really, the two important pieces here for me are the 100+ software releases in the last year in this bear market, and also the 200+ contributors. Our team is only about 24 members, half of that being developers. So when you look at 200+ contributors, the rest of those are all open source community contributors, and we have a really great environment building there. And so the Tier 0 program is only going to help push that forward, so we're really excited about that. So this is just kind of a snapshot of what we've done over the last 12 months on the business side, but now that I've bored you to death, I'm going to give you over to Justin to talk about the really cool stuff, which is what we actually built. So he's going to walk you through the pieces of our platform and where we're at today, and then an announcement at the end. Justin?
Matt has graciously yielded a lot of time to me, and I'm perfectly okay with that because I can talk about ARK forever, so I'm really glad that this timer is here. My name is Justin. I'm the Senior Brand Manager of ARK, and I was recently promoted. I'm really proud about that too. But today, I'm going to tell you about the technology that our team has been working on. Not just our team, but an international consortium of community developers that work on our GitHub to enhance our open source projects. At the core of ARK is the ARK Core. That phrase is never truer than today when I can tell you that if you didn't already know, since we've been here since last consensus, we have completely torn down our old core and rebuilt it from the ground up to become more stable, more resilient, and more reliable. All inherited legacy code has been purged, and all of the exchanges that work with us, the third parties that interact with our APIs, are very, very impressed with our new core and how smoothly it runs. Our core is quick, efficient, and scalable. When we introduced the new Core v2, we were able to improve the transaction throughput from 50 transactions per block to 150 transactions per block, while maintaining our very fast block time of 8 seconds. On DevNet, which is public as well and international, we're dabbling with throughputs 3 times that and see no issues with scaling as needed. We're not necessarily tackling Visa levels right now, but we do believe in our technology and its ability to scale as needed. Our core is also very configurable. What we did with Core v2 was we separated out the different modules of the core into specific plugins using Lerna. What this allows developers to do is to dabble and work with different parts of the core without being concerned about infringing on the stability of other parts. This also opens doors to implementing custom modules within their own version of our core. Our core is also very extensible. You're going to see further proof of this a little bit further along in the presentation, but what ARK believes is that we want to include as many developers and technologies as possible to make ARK technology ubiquitous and almost a second thought to use our technology. Simplicity is the core of our values with ARK. There are 5 others that you can check out in our new white paper recently released for 2019. Our new core is also reconfigured using TypeScript. Now, we like this because it offers a more stringent type definition, which allows for better collaboration with our open source community and everything, but also maintains the ease of use and flexibility of JavaScript. Our core is also Docker ready, so you can deploy an instance of our core very quickly and use industry standard containers. Lastly, it's easy to install. I was able to get a node up and running within moments, synchronizing with a chain and doing everything that I expected it to do. This is what ARK wants to be. It wants to be technology that just works. Now, you remember I mentioned about ARK being very extensible. Well, there are blockchain projects out there that want to interface their technology with external languages and technologies, and so they'll develop and release some SDKs. Now, some projects might be satisfied with 1, 2, or even a few different SDKs, but we're not satisfied with much. We're always driving for more. So we're interfacing with over 12 different languages and technologies as of today. These are all functional and working with our smooth new core, including Java, Go, PHP, Swift, Python, C++, Wolfram, Laravel, and more. Very extensible. Let's speak into the future a little bit on ARK Core. Now, what's interesting about our technology is that it's built to fork. And let me explain that a little bit more. What we want to do is we want to empower everyone, regardless of their aim or technical background, to quickly and easily leverage blockchain technology and not be bogged down by forced economic models of some mainnet landlord or protocol that forces you to conform to a specific requirement. What we want to do is create an ecosystem of linked chains governed by independent thought and sovereignty, where everyone who needs their own chain to do something and interact with a specific use case can do so on their own chain and then interoperate. Now, part of this vision includes a number of technologies that we'll be implementing moving forward as we move towards Core version 3. Firstly, we'll be implementing custom transaction types. Now, some of these custom transaction types will be available on the ARK public network, which has been running for over 2 years. Others will be used as tools for developers to implement when deploying their own blockchains that will interoperate with other ARK chains and the ARK public network. Additionally, we'll be implementing an IPFS layer. This will allow you to register and place IPFS URLs into the blockchain and use specialized IPFS nodes to manage larger data sets. Additionally, we'll be implementing time locks so that you can lock up a specific amount of ARK for a specific amount of time. This will play into some of our larger visions for Core. Additionally, multi-payments will be implemented. This will allow a single address to send multiple payments to multiple destinations in one transaction. This does miracles for transaction fees, which, by the way, are dynamic in the ARK Core. Moreover, we're going to introduce Schnorr multi-sig addresses. This will allow groups of people to manage funds and, I guess you could say, contribute to governance as needed and not worry about one person running off with all the money. That's not really something that we want to happen, so Schnorr multi-sig it is. Also, nonces. These will help prevent and fight against long-range attacks. And of course, plugins, which is what I was talking about a little bit earlier, where the core is split up. And that allows developers to implement custom plugins that become first-class citizens and can be used by other organizations as needed to perform various tasks. Let's talk about my favorite part, which is the desktop wallet, the foyer of the ARK ecosystem. I think that the reason why our community is so strong and resilient is partly because of these open source projects that we're working on. Our wallets are leaps ahead on user experience, and most importantly for me, it takes away that sweating bullets feeling that you might get when sending your very first crypto transactions. I remember my first on-chain interactions with blockchain technology was using ARK. And while I was reading articles and listening to my friends talk about crypto, I would get really scared about, oh no, am I going to lose all my money? Am I going to press the wrong button? What if I don't understand how these features work? But when I introduced myself to the ARK wallets, I felt a sense of confidence and that everything was going to be okay. We feel that something like this is very important to long-range growth and exposing new people that have never been introduced to cryptocurrencies before. We'll always continue to keep this in the forefront. Our desktop wallets have multiple OS support for Mac, PC, and Linux. They also have support for bridge chains. These are the blockchains I was talking about earlier. Now, we call them bridge chains because calling them side chains is a bit inaccurate and, frankly, I think a bit condescending. I don't feel that new blockchains that pop up in our ecosystem should be seen as lesser chains to our public network. No, they have their own ideas, they have their own communities, they want to grow and develop, and we feel that a sense of collaboration and participation and free trade and all of that is really important. So we call them bridge chains. Also, the desktop wallet is very modular. Now, this is very important because if you have a lot of blockchains that show up, these blockchains will, of course, be compatible with our wallets. These wallets will be modular, and you can introduce custom plugins into these wallets that address specific use cases, interact with other blockchains, etc. Not bad. Let's talk about the mobile wallet. I really like the mobile wallet because my phone's always with me and my desktop isn't. So we made a beautiful mobile wallet packed with all the features that you're used to in the desktop wallet with an even smoother user experience. It's very user-friendly and easy for somebody like my mom to use. Somebody like my mom can get some ARK on the wallet, vote for a delegate that she thinks will do a great job securing the network, and send ARK to her friends. Not only that, but we have dual OS support, available on Android and iOS. I would say we're among the first group of mobile wallets available and approved for the Apple Store, which we're very proud of. And let's take a look at the future of the mobile wallet. Well, of course, just like I mentioned earlier, we never, ever, ever, ever stop improving our user experience. We want to make it always simpler, easier, better. So we're going to redesign this wallet to offer an even better user experience and design. We've also had some feedback on our GitHub as we really encourage people who even don't code to come to our GitHub and talk to us about issues that they're having with our products and projects so that we can improve them for everyday users. These users are saying there's some performance issues because the app is not native. We were able to develop an app quickly for both platforms, but what we're going to do next is we're going to introduce native apps. That's going to increase the performance drastically, and we're really happy about that. Also, an exciting announcement today, one of two. In this new mobile wallet, we'll be doing everything within our power to interface this wallet with hardware devices, such as the Ledger Nano X. This is something that our community will be very, very happy to hear, including myself. There's some more action that will be taking place in the future, as Matt brought up. We're working on a new website. Now, we did redesign our website a while back, but since then, our vision has become laser focused. Our products and projects have been evolving at an exponential rate, and strategies, along with new hires, have been producing new goals that we have to reach people with this technology. So we're working on a brand new website with intuitive design using the latest technologies. This website will literally come to life as we have live integrations with things like our GitHub and ongoing projects like the Tier 0 projects Matt was talking about, with full transparency on who's working on it, when people are getting paid, what these projects are, and how we can improve them. We'll also be targeting different segments. In fact, 4 industries of interest is what we'll be looking at to start, courtesy of our newly hired marketing team. You can learn more about these 4 industries in our new white paper, released as of 2019 at whitepaper.ark.io. It's a great read. Grab a cup of coffee and take a look. It's also user-driven. What we wanted to do was start to compartmentalize who is coming to our website and what do they need and why are they there. I was doing a lot of research with some other blockchain websites, and when I go there, it's kind of like, okay, we're going to talk to everybody kind of at the same time, and I don't really know what they're talking about there, and oh, where do I get the stuff that I need to know about? Well, The new website will be compartmentalized for users, developers, and enterprise. It's going to be very obvious where you need to go to get what you need to know. Now, let's talk about the really fun stuff. You thought that other stuff was fun? No. It's time for the really fun stuff. You know, ARK empowers everyone, regardless of their aim or technical background, to quickly and easily leverage blockchain technology. We do that with intuitive user experiences, seamless products, and stable technology. One example of this is something we've been working on, and the underlying technologies that run beneath this have been years in the making. This is the ARK Deployer. The ARK Deployer is a free, easy-to-use blockchain deployment tool that lets you create, customize, and launch your own blockchain in minutes. The ARK Deployer is a graphical user interface that offers an effortless experience coupled with battle-tested guides and procedures that get you from zero to blockchain fast. I'm sure that a lot of you out there believe that the future is not one blockchain. So, if that's the case, shouldn't it be as easy as possible to create a blockchain? This is what ARK is doing. The deployer offers 3 levels of customization: basic, intermediate, and advanced. These 3 levels allow someone who's dabbling with our technology to only be exposed to what they're comfortable with at the time. Maybe they need a blockchain where it does everything that ARK does, and they only need to customize identity variables like chain name, ticker symbol, and more. Maybe they need standardized network architecture, but they want to customize the economic model, things like fee structure, block rewards, and block time, number of delegates. And of course, some people will want super advanced blockchains, which we offer. Now, here's the interesting thing, is that you'll see that everything we're doing is easy. It's easy and designed to be easy for anybody. You're going to have a single college student in their bedroom with a world-changing idea that needs an advanced blockchain. You're going to have Fortune 500 enterprises with offices on every continent who just need a basic blockchain. It's not about how simple it is. It's about everyone needs easy. The ARK Deployer takes you through the steps, and there are 3 different portions of tasks you would do to launch your blockchain: prepare, customize, and deploy. Now, preparing will use the deployer preparation guide to let you see how to create servers and connect to them and get GitHub ready in preparation for deployment. Customization takes advantage of our very sexy graphical user interface. And then deployment is using the guide to launch your Genesis node and set up your peers. From there, the possibilities are endless. You could hand off your node to you could hand off delegates to open community. You could have a hybrid approach where some nodes are run by your organization and some nodes are public. You can do whatever it is that you need to do. And remember, ARK's extensibility allows you to connect to your new blockchain through over a dozen languages and technologies. Not only that, but you'll get access to our deployer, which is our Explorer, which is included in your deployment. And our excellent wallets are compatible with your chain, both desktop and mobile. So the question remains, do you think that there will be more than one blockchain out there in the future? And if so, wouldn't you say that it makes sense for creating a blockchain to be as easy as possible? Now again, we're not going to stop this mission, okay? This is an alpha release. This alpha release means that somebody who understands the concepts of why a blockchain is cool and understands their way around deploying VPS, for example, can make a blockchain, okay? Now in the future, we're going to make it easier, keep making it easier. I'd like to announce that this will be available on the 28th of May, 2019. You will be able to make a blockchain and follow a deployer guide, use our graphical user interface live, and do whatever it is that you need to do. Docs.ark.io will be very helpful to you for learning about your new chain, and it's very well documented. We're always keeping that up to date. Let's take a look at the future for the deployer. Now, we want to implement a custom module marketplace. What this means is that you should see people building things that other people might find useful, right? So the deployer acts as a central location people can go to creating customized blockchains. So it stands to reason that there should be a place where you can create technology that helps others and then deploy that technology in a marketplace and earn streams of income from that technology. That will be implemented as part of the deployer in the future as well. One-click deployment, that's going back to what I was talking about earlier of our never-ending mission to make things simpler and easier. We want to make it way easier all the time, never stopping. Again, easy, okay? Simplicity is core value number 1 for ARK. Bridge chain registration. So what this means is that a newly created blockchain, we call them bridge chains, will be able to register their chain on the ARK public network. This will enable that chain to be discoverable within the overall vast ecosystem that we have, okay? This means that when you load up the wallet, you can say, oh, what chains are there? And then the discovery process will allow you to see what chains there are, and then you can interface with those. You'd be able to access bridge chain specific plugins for your desktop wallet, for example, that says, okay, I'd like to interact with this bridge chain and let me get access to the plugin, download it from a safe location, and then do what I need to do. Not only that, but the Powered by ARK program is coming soon. You might ask yourself, okay, I have a world-changing idea. Great. I have the tools to deploy this idea in the form of a blockchain with custom plugins. Amazing. But what next? What now? I don't know what to do next. This is what the Powered by ARK program will offer. After a vetting process, you'll be able to join an approved ecosystem within the ecosystem of bridge chains that ARK really likes. What we'll do is offer you guidance and support and help you get to the place you need to go in terms of long-term success with your bridge chain. Your success is our success. So we create custom programs to help facilitate that success. I hope you enjoyed this presentation. We have about 3 minutes left. Thank you for your attention.
Awesome stuff. I've got a couple questions and I'll open it up to see if anyone else does.
Okay.
Eden?
No questions about Game of Thrones spoilers? I haven't seen it yet. Right.
Won't say anything then.
Okay.
But in the deployable blockchains, what are people either building today or are you hoping they build kind of once this goes live?
So right now we're focused on the core levels, okay? That means we want to build the tools so that people can use those tools to do whatever it is that they want to do. Now, in our new white paper, we are focusing on industries of interest, okay? Including IoT, government, supply chain, and the fourth one. So what we'll do is we'll implement templates. And these templates will help people understand these use cases and how to customize these use cases for their specific need, okay?
And this is all on the bridge chains, right? Like
Yeah.
complementary to that. So can you
Right.
expand a little bit how that interacts with the core blockchain, how that interacts with the ARK token a little bit?
Great question. So what we have is something called Smart Bridge technology. Smart Bridge technology will allow the ARK public mainnet to interact with bridge chains in the form of exchanging data and instructions, value, and all these other things. So what this means is that, you know, that future I was talking about earlier, right? There's going to be a lot of blockchains. And on May 28th, a whole lot of people will know how to make a blockchain. So we need to get ready for that, right? So what that means is there's going to be a lot of tokens, right? But here's the thing. With ARK, we want to make things very simple. So using Smart Bridge technology, you can hold ARK and use any bridge chain's use case using the Smart Bridge technology.
And it's all, is that creating new tokens or is that using the ARK token?
That's using the ARK token, correct.
Okay, awesome. One last question, Matt, this one might be more for you, but on your earlier slides when you talked about you raised $800,000 and you watched that explode to now you have, was 24 million in Bitcoin, and then you're also your ARK reserve. How do you think about your treasury management? How do you think about building for the long term, knowing that you raised a little and now you're kind of sitting on a small gold mine? How do you think about that, both as it ran up, but then also today, now that you have that, how you think about building for the long term?
Yeah, so you know, I've been in projects before, and we've seen a lot of projects in this industry kind of fall apart, run out of money, and go bankrupt essentially. It's very important to us to properly manage our funds, and so we have a strategic plan in place, especially with the bull market apparently on its way, to cash out at certain points as we go up, if possible, to fiat, so that we have a larger fiat runway moving forward for a certain number of years of development. I won't go too far into the details of what that strategy is, but we do have a strategy on how to diversify, and we do have some fiat and other tokens and things now, but we do have a strategy in place to be able to cash some out and kind of convert and diversify our assets moving forward so that we can sustain development for the long term.
Awesome. Anyone have any questions before I let them off stage? The question was, do you have bidirectional payments?
Hi, I'm Chris, CCO. So bidirectional payments, this is something that also Justin was talking about before. So it's all goes on into the platform where you have a deployer. You can deploy different bridge chains. And if you look at our specification, the GTI, the generic transaction interface, anybody can build its own transaction types. So meaning bidirectional payments is something that comes down to you when you're developing your own blockchain. And by using our bridge chain technology, so you will have specific transaction types that will be registered in the chain. So essentially, everything is doable. You have to just use our APIs and our core. You're welcome.
Anybody else? All right. Thank you, guys.